Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today I am really excited to bring to you the palette from Hindash. I think it's called Beautopsy. I think it's pronounced Beautopsy. I know it's called that, but is it Beautopsy or is it Beautopsy? I don't know. If you don't know who Hindash is, he is a professional makeup artist. I believe he is based in Dubai, and he has a YouTube channel. He is tall and handsome, really handsome, and he has an adorable dog. I don't know what kind of dog, like the same kind of dog Toto was in Wizard of Oz, I think. And his name is Timmy. And when he does his intros, Timmy is always with him. And I can really appreciate a man who loves his dog. I really can. These are all kind of personal notations. He seems like an honestly, sincerely good guy who is nice and who is maybe a little humble. Just, I like him very much. You know how you sometimes you run into people, it's like, well, they're doing the right things, like they're nice, but you just get the feeling that it's kind of an act. I do not get the feeling with him. His artistry is beautiful, but he does have something that he's known for. When you look at all his thumbnails, you'll see, yes, there's something going on here. One, because he's in Dubai, most of his models have darker skin. If you have darker skin, you must go to his channel, just for nothing else, to take a look at the colors that he uses on darker skin. But two, his eyes. The eyes that he does are just, you can see that eye and go, oh, Hindash did that. One thing he's really well known for is liner, but he usually doesn't do a hard liner. It's not like he does a black ink liner and it's just super hard. It's a beautiful liner effect that he does. I'm hooded. I can't do that. And I'm hooded so that at the end, this falls. There are people who are hooded in the center, but they're not hooded here, so they can still do a wing. So there's that. I'm not going to be able to do that, but I'm going to try. And this is what his palette looks like. You can go to his channel. He's done one introduction to this palette and has explained his background. He is an artist and went into makeup. And he'll talk about how long it took him to put this together. I do believe that, you know, the virus kind of slowed things down. As you can see, I hope, these are ombres. This entire palette is ombre and it is matte. There are 12 shades here, I think. Well, there's 6 pans and 12 shades. And then, of course, you can pick something up smack in the middle, and you kind of have, well, 6 more shades. So when I heard he was coming up with something, I went to his website and signed up. I didn't care what it was. I think he's amazing. I was going to get it. When I saw this, I had second thoughts because I am not a makeup artist, and I really felt like this might be kind of advanced. Spoiler alert, I shot this yesterday, but it was really cloudy and it looked horrible. In fact, I'm shooting right now, truly a half an hour before I should be shooting, because I'm afraid that the clouds might decide to come in. It's looking okay, but the fear is real. So my light doesn't look like it usually does. I put on my foundation today. I'm wearing this Chantecaille. I haven't worn this in such a long time because I've been testing so many foundations, and I thought, let's do this. I let it set up for a long time, and then I went and powdered with my Viteri, and then I did a little powdering with the Kosas, which I repurchased at the sale. And this all because we're doing powders, and I am going to use this all over my face. So let's get going. I'm going to start not with my eyes, which is what I usually do, but I'm going to start, like I did yesterday, with contouring and bronzing and whatnot, because I want to get to know it, even though I do know it a little bit because I did wear it once yesterday. All right, so For contour, I'm going to go into this row. I'm not going to name them because I'm blind. I'd have to put on my glasses and stop shooting and blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to point this row. And this is the airbrush from Wing Goss. And this gray, and just pull down to the brown. And see what happens. Light, light hand. So I didn't pick up on the tip so much as on the sides, so I can blend with the tip, but I'm going subtle. And I believe I got a contour. The one problem I see with this palette is if you're doing something on one side and you want to match it to the other side and you're mixing colors together, you have to be sure that you're doing the mix correctly. And that is hard to tell, especially if you use a brush that is black. So you have to pay attention, in my opinion, where you're laying down your brush when you lay it down the first time. So I had it this way. I'm going to do the same thing. Because if you don't pay attention, you're going to find you're not getting the same color. And even if you do pay attention, you might find you're not going to get the same color. I think they're even. Hard to tell because the light in this room is never even. These are pressed pigments. They are not pressed powders. So you need to keep that in mind. And because they are for the face and the eye, he made them so that they're buildable. So if you're used to going in with something and you're bang, you've got some pigmentation right away, you may be challenged by this, or just, you have to make a little adjustments. And I'm not going to mess around too much here because that's a danger zone for me. But I am going to contour a little bit my nose. I don't have the perfect brush for something like this, and I am just going to do a little bit of contouring the nose. He always does this. The reason I do it, I don't do it very often, but on camera, when I'm doing my little thumbnails, I feel like my nose looks kind of wide right here, so I'm cutting that down a little bit. And the reason I do this is I notice that if I slim down the nose a little bit here, it makes my nose look really long, I think. So a little bit of that, and now I'm going to take a fluffy brush, a Smith, I think, and just blend it. I'm not sure this color is the right color for me, because you don't want to make the nose look dirty. And I'm not taking it all the way up. I don't think it's necessary. Okay, now for bronzer. So this warm chocolate here is an amazing color, and that I think would be, you have to think with this palette. Do you know what I mean? You have to add things up. Okay, this color, what's the undertone? What do I need to do to it to chill it out a little bit? You could take this and mix it with this. This is cool tone, which I like. If you like a warm tone bronzer, you might want to mix it with the yellower tone to knock down the intensity of this brown and to give it a little bit of warmth. But I think I'm going to mix this area with this area, and I'm going to do it with this brush. And let's see what happens. Hi, Lucy. She's outside and she like pokes her head in. What's going on? Doing the same thing I always do, honey. Why is it confusing? I think this color's pretty good. Actually, I think I did mix this with the yellow because that brown is pretty cool. And I definitely took some off of my hand before I went into the yellow. On top of the cheekbones. While you do have to think a little bit when you're using this palette, once you get to know it and understand how to make it work for your skin tone, it'll be boom. But when you're first getting to know it, you know, give yourself a little time to figure out what it is and how it will work for you. And now, some blush. So in the blush arena, you can go in the peachy realm, like, you know, mix this with this. Or there's a little peach right here, or you could mix maybe this with this, or you can just do this, which is what I'm gonna do. And I hope you can see that this is very soft color, but very, very pretty. And I think I want a little bit more, so I'm going to focus on the pinker side. And see what we can get out of this. Oh. And I think the face looks very nice, all in one palette. Now let's go in for eyes. So yesterday's application, I went with this all over the eye, and I found that it really made my hood protrude. When I had finished my makeup, all I saw was this hood. So I am going to go in more towards the yellow white. I'm actually just going to blend them both together. So I'm not too yellow, but definitely not too white. And see what happens. For me, the better situation would be a peach that's closer to my skin tone than yellow. Now I already put on my Makeup by Mario. He used the paint pot, one of the paint pots, and then he went over with one of these base shadows in his tutorial, but I don't have the paint pot. I did the Makeup by Mario, and I already powdered it with the powder in the Makeup by Mario. But we're just giving color now rather than setting, so I'm doing it a little bit different than his technique. Okay, so this is kind of the base. Now, what am I usually going to do at this point? I am going to recede my hood and give my lid a little bit of shape. If you're new here, I have what for a long time I thought was a fat pad here, but it's actually my tear duct gland is popping up here. So oftentimes it looks like I don't have anything hanging out in this area because it protrudes. There is something there. It kind of changes the shape of my entire eye, and it's impossible for them to be even when I put on makeup. Okay, explanation done. I am going to shade kind of the same way I shaded here and do the same colors. This is a Ray Morris brush, and I'm just swishing back and forth towards the center, and I need to remember that when I do it again. Swish back and forth towards the center. And I'm just going to start with the tip, feeling the eyeball. That's another thing. I can't really feel the eyeball on my other eye because of that tear duct gland. And now I'll flatten this out a little bit and do some windshield wipers. I don't want to take it too far in because that can bring darkness to the area, and if you're close set, which I don't think I really am, it can make your eyes look even more close set. She's really, she's been on a roll lately, man. I see you, honey. She has been wanting to eat earlier and earlier, but it doesn't have the effect of stopping eating earlier. And, you know, she's beagle, so I have to watch it. But lately, she has been a little weird. Like, always right at me. I mean, she's generally always right at me, but yesterday, anytime I moved, she was like right there, just staring at me. Like, it's not gonna happen, honey. You've already had your food. Same thing this side. So now, Forest from the Trees, looking in this mirror that is not magnified, about arm's length away to just see that I have a little bit of shape. Oh, you know what? Let's move to something else. I forgot. He also used this in the brows. I think that's kind of hard to do, but I'm going to give it a try. And she's back. This is what she's doing. She's like, open the door so I can get out. I open the door, and she's like, no, I've changed my mind. I hope she's okay. I hope this isn't indicative that she is not feeling well. Again, for most people, you want to stay in the cool range. This is when it gets powdery, when you go in with something small and hard like this. So I'm just going to tap into that powder so I don't break into the pan too much, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to kind of shade. And I guess I feel like the powder will just kind of attach itself to the hairs more than anything else. I don't know if powder is all that great if you have an area you truly want to fill out. Like for me, right under the brow here where I've overplucked forever, I want some color there. And I just don't feel like I'm getting what I want when I use a powder. So there. It's fine, but I don't like it. This is, you know, this is just personal, right? For me, I want a pencil. I love this pencil. It's $9. It's flat. And it just does what I want it to do. Yeah. Not my fave. Again, if you're a professional makeup artist, you have that skill level, maybe not a problem at all. All right, now I am going to try to line. And this color is so beautiful. I love this rich, warm brown. It's kind of like chocolate, but better. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing better than chocolate, except for creme brulee. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of liner with this guy here. And I am hardly touching. So just keep the eyes open because I don't want it to be right down here. I'm going for a little teeny bit of a cat situation. And I'm just lining it up for this corner and then up. So same thing over here, this corner and then up. Something really special about this particular color in the palette. Really nice. Now when I open, it's like you look crazy. Well, yeah, I'm hooded. And now, if you're not hooded, this is easy, where you just bring it down and connect the dots and all that stuff. I am hooded, so it's not easy. And I think I just felt some fallout on that. So be sure to do some knocking off. For me, if I go a straight line like this, when I open my eyes, I'll have all this darkness down here. So my thing is more like an opposite V. So I'm hugging the eye like yay. Now I'm open. And then I'll do this. So it's in and out. And I'm going to just bring this up a little bit. So this is going to be not an everyday look, but an architectural kind of eye. And this powder is just doing what I want it to do. Is it the combination of having a really good tool, the Chikuhodo? Maybe. Okay. Now, you could have just not done this dramatic thing and just done a little teeny little wing here and figured that out, which is what I did yesterday. But we're going to go dramatic. I am hardly touching my eye. I'm just so impressed. Okay, for me, this kind of approach makes my hood look a little heavy, and I definitely want to do a little bit of blending in a very sweet, gentle way. I'm going to try this one because it's smaller and my hope is by using something smaller, I'm not going to bring that color too high, where a bigger brush will blend it out more up towards the brow, because I don't want to be doing an incredibly dark eye. But this does feel the teeniest bit hard for me. And this brush is a brush that Hindash actually recommended. My recent brush purchases were largely, or started at least, from brushes that Hindash and Lisa Eldridge spoke about in videos of theirs. And I like taking advice from working makeup artists because they work with a lot of people. It's true, some of them only work with young people, but certainly different eye shapes. I kind of don't want to blend this out because I'm kind of digging this, but I hope you understand why I am. It's just a teeny bit hard. So I do want to still do something where there's not a harsh transition between this color and this color. And this is one thing I found I had a problem with yesterday, because for me the perfect color would be like a peachy, beigey kind of a thing, and that's hard to do in this palette. I did try to mix this, I think, with this. Maybe I tried to mix this, but it was too bright. So I'm going to try it again with a little bit more of this color, and we'll see what happens. I didn't mind the color I ended up getting, but I was unable to get the color I wanted. And that's where skill matters. Okay, it's different than I got yesterday, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's funny, when I look in this mirror, which is a normal size mirror, I see that I didn't manage to get my wing even. Calciprese. I'm going to go in with the lighter area for the yellow, back with this kind of packing brush. Hi, Lucy. I just don't know what's up with you, girl. And put this on the inside to open everything up a little bit and help these shades work together. And you know what? I'm going to try to match this one. I didn't blend as much, and I'm kind of digging it. So I'm going to, again, do the yellow, but I'm going to put it on the tip here. And I'm just using the yellow because it's more of a skin tone than the white. And I'm going to go back in the chocolate with this more dense brush right by the lash line. And hugging that eyeball a little bit. Alright, I'm going to put on a little bit of lip, I don't know what yet, and put on a little bit of mascara, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Alright, and for lip, I heard Jamie Page talk about this many, many times. This is a Maybelline gloss. I have it in the color Stone. And then this is the first one that I got, which is the color Ref. And these are so comfortable, and they're Maybelline, so they're not very expensive. It has a vanilla scent. And this is, for me, lip glosses are like, why spend 30 bucks on a lip gloss when the drugstore actually does dole out some pretty good lip glosses? So these are nice, and the Stone is a little bit of shine since my face is pretty matte, but also neutral. So what do I think? I think you don't have to be skilled, incredibly skilled to use this. I mean, I did put a look together that I really like, but I had to think about it, You have to be willing to play, and it helps if you understand color. I'm not 100% sure that I do, but it's things like if you put this color and this color together, what are you going to get? Or I want this color, so you're doing it backwards or forwards. This is the color I want, how am I going to get it? Kind of a thing. It's a palette that he wants people to use as an everyday palette for all over the face. And for every day, it's maybe a little dark for me. I mean, these colors right here, this chocolate color is so beautiful, but it's a little bit dark. And I'm like, for me, an everyday might be a gray. And we could, you know what, let's just go in with the gray color with this Chikahoto, and see what that gray might do. Because yeah, maybe you could do something kind of gray for the everyday, and certainly not do a wing like I did for the everyday. But it's I don't know. If you're somebody who likes to do the same color every day, you just want color you can depend on and get out of the house, and one of those colors could be found in here, maybe that would work for you. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. I will say I find these powders to be very, very, very nice, and that dark brown just did exactly what I wanted it to do, and that's pretty darn important. I think the look that I managed to get is very nice, and of course you can use these orange-red area and do a red eye, mix it with the pink, and use something in the brown or in the black even to deepen up and give depth, so it looks like you have more shades, but you're really just utilizing that black or the gray. But maybe a little bit limiting. If you are a makeup artist, I think it might be something that is incredibly handy, because one, if you're a makeup artist, you probably know a lot about color and you know how to mix, and you're not afraid you're going to get a different color every time you do something. So what color it is over here will be the same color over here. I think I did okay with that, but it's something to think about. And it's compact, it's small. It can do a lot for you if you're a makeup artist. If you're not a makeup artist, I think there might be a little bit of a learning curve. If you are somebody who you have to have shimmer, you could obviously use something like this and just have a little shimmer pot with you to, you know, get your shimmer dreams going. For me, I mean, I don't have a problem doing 100% matte. Of course, my face isn't incredibly matte because of my sunscreens and moisturizers, so I still have life going on. I think it's very, very pretty. I do wonder, how much am I going to love it? You know, when you buy something and you can't wait to wake up the next morning to try it again? I don't get this, not yet. And it could be because the concept is a little bit intimidating, and that the makeup looks that I've seen him do, the first girl was quite dark, so those colors aren't really going to work. The second girl had red hair, auburn hair, so he was kind of going with the auburn thing, and I haven't really seen him do a look where I'm like, yes, that's the look I can wear. And the only reason that it matters is because these are the colors you have, period. It's not like many videos I'll watch of his, and I'll watch his technique and I'll learn from his technique. So I might not be able to do a liner the same way he can, but I can learn about how he's doing things. I might not use the same colors that he's using on his models because they tend to be dark skinned, but I can see where he places things. Do you know what I mean? With this is all you're getting. This is it. So if you can't make these colors work for you, it's going to be a problem. And in order for them to work for you, you're going to have to play. And if that's something that you're not into, it's not for you. But I think he is just lovely. I think his skills are amazing. I think his vision is incredibly beautiful. I'm just not sure that this is for your average person. I'm glad I have it. I think the look is very pretty. I hope that I will make myself kind of turn to it, because it is a little bit, it's a little bit of, okay, I gotta focus here, because if I put the brush in the wrong place, it's not recoverable, kind of a thing. And that's not always, you know, the way I'm feeling. I love that chocolate brown color. It is so, so pretty. You are able to get a full face out of this one palette. I showed it to you. I'm not thrilled with it in the eyebrows. Maybe there's a learning curve there that not only am I not at? I don't care to be at. I'm just not into powder on the eyebrows. And, you know, if it would adhere to this area that's just skin, which is funny because when I made a mistake, it adhered right here, fine. But right here, I need it to adhere, and it's like, no, we're not going to hang out here. We're going to go somewhere else. So, not on the brows, for me personally. That's it, you guys. You know, I feel like I'm not here to recommend yay or nay. I'm just giving you some background. I'm showing it on the face. I think it is quite pretty, quite daily, and that was his goal. So it was successful in that. That's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I hope it was helpful to you. And I hope you come back again. Until we meet again, be smart, be safe, and I'm wishing you good health.